If your life feels harder than it needs to be, it's because you're unknowingly feeding patterns you think you're fighting. Let me give you a simple truth and a little uncomfortable to face. You cannot end a pattern by fighting it. When you fight a pattern, you feed it. Tell a child, do not touch that. And what do? They touch it. Tell your mind, do not think about your problems. And what happens? You think about them even more. This is not a flaw in you. This is bad control. You were never taught how to end cycles, so you kept living inside ones that control you. And it is the same force that ruins teams, damages relationships, and destroys your peace of mind. I'm Shirley from AXSIOM. One truth understood and applied can change your life. And remember, you have your own truth. I'm not here to replace it. I'm here to give you tools you can test for yourself. Use what works for you. Your truth stays yours. Today, we look at two kinds of control. One builds trust, clarity, and order. The other quietly creates chaos until everything in your life starts resisting you. Let us make this very simple. Every action follows 3 steps. Start, change, stop. Good control ends a pattern cleanly. This is start, change, and stop in action, the smooth or efficient version of the cycle. Bad control keeps the old pattern alive by fighting it. With bad control, the cycle of start, change, and stop goes haywire in some fashion. It breaks rhythm, loses sequence, or collapses into resistance rather than completion. Here is the philosophical truth. Whatever you give your attention to, you create more of. This is the core of start, change, stop cycle. Whatever you continue to put your attention on, you continue to create. Attention is the engine of the start, change, and stop cycle. When you put your attention on something, you are keeping it going or in action. This is the change part of a cycle. Only when you take your attention off does it stop. Let me show you exactly how this plays out in the real world and why you create problems you think you're solving. Example 1, the angry boss. 10 people work in a factory. 9 do good work, 1 makes repeated mistakes. Bad control looks like this. The boss gathers everyone, shouts at the entire team, threatens their jobs, and spreads fear. The 9 good workers think, why should I care? He shouts anyway. Their engagement dies. The one struggling worker feels attacked and hides his mistakes even more. The boss used force, not control. He fed the pattern, meaning he kept the cycle in motion. His attention stayed in the mistake. So the start, change, stop cycle never reached stop. He continued creating the very thing he wanted to end. Good control looks very different. He speaks privately to the one person. He finds the real issue, training, overwhelm, or attitude, and resolves it quietly. Then publicly he acknowledges the 9 who are doing well. He puts attention on the right action, and that is what grows. This is the start, change, stop cycle applied correctly. He starts a new action. In this case, the new action is shifting attention onto the correct behavior and reinforcing what he wants to grow, then keeps his attention on what he wants to grow. And by removing his attention from the mistake, he allows the old pattern to stop. Now let's talk about the kind of control that destroys relationships without meaning to. Example 2. The partner, a husband, comes home late without calling. The wife is angry. She waited with dinner. Bad control is what usually happens. He walks in the door and she attacks. You always do this. You never care. Every night, the fight repeats. And without realizing it, she is pouring attention onto the pattern of coming home late. The pattern becomes the center of the relationship. You cannot end a pattern by shouting at it. She doesn't win the argument. She ends the pattern. Good control looks hard at first, but it works. She decides inside herself, this old pattern of fighting is over. I am done feeding it. This is where she stops the old cycle. She withdraws the attention from the pattern, ending its momentum. This inner decision is the start of a new cycle. When he comes home late, she stays calm. She does not ignore it. but she does not attack. By withholding the usual reaction, she is refusing to keep the old pattern in change. Later, in a quiet moment, she says, "When you are late and I do not hear from you, I feel disrespected. Here is what I need. Can we create a better way for both of us?" This conversation is the new action she is starting, a new start. They agree on a new action. And when he comes home on time, she reinforces the new pattern, the one she actually wants. This reinforcement is change applied correctly, putting attention on what should continue. She ends the old pattern by starving it of attention and creating a new one. Withdrawing her attention from the old behavior is a stop of the old cycle. Example 3. Your mind. Now we enter the hardest battlefield of all, the one you carry everywhere, your own mind. This is the hardest place to control. Why? When you say, "Do not think of a cat," does your mind instantly show you a cat? Because your mind cannot process a negative without first imagining the thing you're trying to avoid. Here is a simple version. To avoid something, your mind must first picture it. Your mind is to create the image so it knows what you're trying not to create. That moment of imagining, it is the start of the cycle. Keeping your attention on it becomes change. Only shifting your attention elsewhere allows it to stop. This is why overthinking feels endless. You are accidentally keeping the cycle alive. So when you tell yourself, "Stop worrying, stop being scared, think positive," you put attention directly on the fear. This is bad inner control. It is you fighting yourself. Good inner control is simple. You notice the worry. You acknowledge it. "Yes, I'm worried." Then you pivot. This pivot is how you stop the old cycle, by shifting your attention away from the worry so it no longer continues in change. What can I create right now? What small action moves me forward? Or you say, "This is not my problem to solve today. I end this line of thinking now. I will review it on Friday at 10. You stop the old loop by starting a clean, new one. In simple terms, you are starting a new cycle, and that new cycle helps close the old one because your attention shifts to what you want to create next. This is absolute self-control. This is real self-control. Once you see how your mind runs these cycles, you understand the one rule that governs all control. The rule: whatever you put your attention on, you create more of. Put attention on problems, you get more problems. Put attention on mistakes, you get more mistakes. Put attention on bad behavior, and you amplify it. Put attention on right action, clarity, and progress, and that is what grows. You do not control what you attack. You control what you create. Bringing it together, good control looks like this. You decide the result. You start the action. You keep creating the new pattern. You end the old one cleanly by withdrawing attention. Bad control looks like this. You fight the past. You fight people. You argue with patterns. Instead of ending them, you keep the chaos alive. Your challenge this week is simple. Find one place, at work, home, or in your own mind, where you are using poor control. Catch yourself in the act of feeding a pattern by fighting it. Ask, how can I starve this pattern of attention and create the one I actually want? Then make one small change. If this struck a chord, good. It means there is truth here for you. Hit subscribe if you're done with feeding patterns that no longer serve you. This channel is for people who want to lead their lives instead of reacting to them. Join the people who are learning how to take real control. Tap like to lock this insight into your mind. And tell me in the comments, right now, work, home, or mind, where do you use bad control the most? Make the admission public. That is the first step to ending the pattern. Now that you understand how cycles run your life, here is what happens when you begin to use them deliberately. Imagine 1 week where you starve one old pattern and feed one new one. Your entire reality begins to shift. Next week, we go deeper into the engine behind all control, Intention and postulates, the decisions that shape your reality before any action begins. You will learn how decisions create cycles, how postulates override habits, and why intention is the most powerful force you have. Prepare for the upgrade.